when we just rest as the relaxed openness of perception in relation to everything that appears, then more and more we can inquire into all phenomena and understand them completely. We can inquire into all points of view and understand them completely. Now, many of us have a point of view that we are originally flawed in some way, that we as human beings have some kind of stain or mark that is very difficult to overcome. And this stain or mark is so pervasive within human culture that most of us never even think about it. And some of the names by which this stain or mark are called are original sin, reincarnation, karma. Terms like pain body and wounded child they're really a watering down of the impact of words like original sin, reincarnation, and karma. Those words are incredibly impactful. When we hear those words, the first thing we think is that applies to me, and I'm a sinner, or I'm flawed in some way karmically that excludes me from being mentally free. Now, all I have to say about that is just relax whenever any ideas like that come about, because the way they come about usually is that we feel unworthy. We feel unworthy to enjoy complete mental freedom. We compare ourselves to someone else, usually as an historical figure, some great being living now, who's totally free and being of tremendous benefit. And we say, oh, that's not me. You know, I'm one of the ones who's karmically bound. I'm a sinner. I'm one of those that ate the apple and there's no turning back. And so, you know, we have this idea of falling out, but there's never anything separate from pure space. So what would fall from what? No matter what it is, it's a vivid appearance of completely empty pure space. So when we relax, then all of these belief systems that have had a very profound impact on us and stir up all kinds of emotional states within us due to our acceptance of them and rejection of ourselves as originally pure, which is what we really are. When we just relax, we come to understand all these things just as they are, that they really are just points of view. For example, the doctrine of reincarnation and karma, what it states is that there is a continuum of mind. So a continuum of mind means that you have a mind and you're appearing in this form now. And then when this form no longer is, that mind will still be, and then it will reappear in another form. So now here's another way of looking at that using a contemporary illustration. That's like saying that you go to a web page and say the web page is on child pornography. Now, I know no one here would want to go to a web page like that, but even if you do, just rest. Just rest. And then say something happens, law enforcement swoops in and they remove that web page from the internet. It's no longer there. The site's not there. You can't find it anywhere. And then someone else buys that URL, and then they put up a site on the birds and the bees and the butterflies and that kind of thing. Well, you know, these two things that are a direct illustration of what is supposed to come about in karma and reincarnation. That there's some kind of continuum of space, and that one thing is replaced with another due to one's good and bad actions. But when we really consider space itself, one of the things we can see about it is that it's completely timeless. It's never had any time. We can't say that the sky up there is the sky of the present and it wasn't the sky of the past. And that there'll be then a future sky that takes that place. So the purity of space is just as it is completely free of all these concepts of one thing or another. It's just completely free of all these concepts of one thing or another. There's within complete timelessness, there's never been a continuum of any kind. How could there be a continuum or any kind of sequence in timelessness? So within timelessness, there's the freedom of creating time and space, just as things to kind of play around with. But they're always timelessly free. Time and place are always timelessly free. Pure space has never fallen into time. It's never been made into time. So time and space are simply concepts that are empty of an independent origin. They have no origin in their own right. They're not a specific thing. And these other things that we learn about ourselves aren't either continuum of mind, original sin. The original purity of space guarantees that everything is primordially pure. Today, with all kinds of scientific instruments, we can see that everything is made of space. Human beings, trees, the sky, buildings, birds. So, this isn't so remote any longer. And we're creating all kinds of materializations that point to that too, such as the internet and telecommunications. We have all these ways of being together that don't involve bodies or anything. We can't really even prove there is a body anywhere when we send an email. So you see, our ideas about all these things are really loosening up.